So we're talking about the Trinity Downwinders and what's going on with Trinity Downwinders. We're reminding everybody that this week on Wednesday evening in Las Cruces, there's a screening of The River That Harms and Under the Nuclear Cloud. And it's going to have a virtual question and answer after the movie, which will be at the Rio Grande Theater in downtown Las Cruces, with Pedro Reyes. And people may want to look Pedro Reyes up, and they will see he is an acclaimed and artist whose work has been commissioned by some Nobel Prize winners. So that is this Wednesday evening at the Rio Grande Theater in downtown Las Cruces, or you can tune in just to the virtual question and answers afterwards on your computer. It's part of a 3-month-long education about downwinder issues that's happening in the state, centered out of Las Cruces. We're now in the second half of it. We've got this screening coming up on Wednesday. There are still 3 exhibits over in Las Cruces, 2 at the Art and Science Museum and the Brannigan Cultural Center right by each other around 501 Main Street, and the other one at the University Art Museum. And the last one, the one at the University Art Museum, does have, it's a digital art exhibit combined with what more kind of conventional art and some found objects, which are completely fascinating. It also has a booth where you can listen to oral history of downwinders who experienced the Trinity test back in the day, and whose families have been affected by it. And if you are bringing somebody to that exhibit who has a downwinder person in their family who has not already recorded their oral history, there's a booth right there where you can record your oral history on the spot at the Cara de Spain exhibit at UAM on the University of New Mexico campus.
I think that is fantastic, because this is a history that we need to record, and it seems like some people just want to sweep it under the rug.
Well, that's right. And now if somebody can't get over to Las Cruces for any reason, the other place they could go is to trinitydownwinders.com on the computer, and you'll see the website for the Tula Rosa Basin Downwinder Consortium there. And up on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll be able to poke around and find the button that gets you into the health form. And so somebody who perhaps hasn't filled out that health form yet might want to go there also and record some of their personal history as part of a huge project to log what's going on in the Tula Rosa Basin. Some people are not aware that the radiation radius from the Trinity test site going out for 150 miles has caused documented increases in a number of different cancers. So if your family or loved one or auntie or uncle or even son or daughter may be part of that pattern, you might want to go to trinitydownwinders.com and fill out that health survey. You'll be able to sign up for the newsletter there. You can also scroll through past events and find the National History Day winning 10-minute video by Allison Carruthers that's on YouTube. That will be very interesting to people who want to have a short kind of summation of what's been going on lately.
All right, and one more time, where can someone get more information?
trinitydownwinders.com, and the Tula, which is the website for the Tula Rosa Basin Consortium, who are working very hard to get the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act passed so that we, New Mexico, can for the first time receive compensation like the other states in the nation have been doing since 1990 when the first President Bush passed RECA, the Radiation Compensation Act. There's been a bit of an amendment to it that is already passed the Senate, 86-11, and what we need to do is get it included in the NDAA, this time through the House, so that for the first time ever, New Mexicans who have been affected by the radiation can apply and be compensated. If you'd like more information about that compensation, you can go to also to the Tularosa Library or the Alamogordo Library and pick up information there. There's some really neat information sheets with lots of facts about the Trinity test and what happened at that time. And there's also a couple of pages about the actual compensation. For example, if we had 100 families, households receive compensation, it would bring $15 million into the local economy. And there very well could be more than 100 people who will qualify, of course, in our very many rural economies. And Otero County took a pretty good brunt of it because having Holloman Air Force Base, Alamogordo, Carrizozo, Tularosa, all of these places where there is quite a considerable amount of documentation and ongoing documentation of families with up to 5 generations affected by these cancers.
Unbelievable. Well, we are in full support of getting these people the help and support they need. I've always found it very disturbing how California, Nevada, no problem. If you were exposed, we apologize. Here you go. New Mexico, so I'm glad to see that things are changing.
Well, we hope they're changing. It's going to take everybody jumping on board. Of course, radiation doesn't know how tall you are, how small you are, where you came from in the first place or not. It just, if you are the unlucky person who it passes through and affects your DNA, it'll get you one way or another. So if you have that unfortunate thing, really the compensation money will never completely, of course, fix a family when they lose a family member. It's called partial compensation because of that. But it does somewhat help with the wealth gap that is created when you have, of course, a big cancer lineage in your family. It's also going to do things like improve access to cancer treatment. And healthcare services and clinics will be expanded, and it gives some caps for legal fees for processing the application so that only qualified attorneys will be able to help people with their application and so on and so forth, so that it is reasonable. It is a very small part of the national defense budget. It's currently just less than 1%. So the fact that over the last 33 years it's paid out $2.5 billion, has been paid out, and out of that $1.2 billion was paid to Downwinders. That's less than 1% of the DoD budget. So we're not asking for something completely unreasonable. We're just asking for New Mexico to be included because we were, of course, the very first place on planet Earth to experience an atomic test and the radiation fallout.
All right, we're speaking with Tanya Burns. Tanya, before we let you go, do you have anything else you want to share?
Well, I would like to give a shout out to people who are moving around our county who might be able to help share this information. So I'm going to give a shout out today to the Chaparral Lobos, who I understand are going to be playing up in Ruidoso this Friday night. So Lobos, if there's anybody listening, please take this information, your Downwinder information up there, and share it out in the Ruidoso community. And go Lobos! We want to do Otero County proud. And if you're from one of the other schools in Otero County and you happen to be up there on Friday night in Ruidoso, hey, let's get behind the Lobos. They've traveled all the way from the southern part of our Otero County. And thanks to Raul for always keeping me up to date on what the Lobos are doing.